So we got Camazotz. He's an eternal disruptor. Looking at his basic, we have a single target attack 3 times. Each hit has a 75% chance to reduce the target's turn meter by 5%. Or an AoE with an 80% chance to place Drain 2 each target for 2 turns. Get 1 copy of them. If a target is already under Drain 2, also decrease their turn meter by 10%. Moving on to his ultimate, we have an AoE, hits 2 times. Each hit has an 80% chance to reduce the target's turn meter by 10%. If the target is above 50% turn meter, they speed down 2 on them for 2 turns. Otherwise, place Despair on them for 1 turn. At Max Awakening, each hit is a guaranteed strong critical. Passive. When this hero inflicts a critical hit, steal 5% of the target's turn meter. The attack is a strong critical, steal a further 5% turn meter. At level 3 Awakening, also decrease the target's initiative and speed by 5, stacking up to 50. Each time this hero steals turn meter. Pretty decent control. I mean, you know, he's Disruptor. It really fits that. Able to kind of shut down.
It's a little bit of everything. Well, not everything, but there's a little bit of things that can be helpful, right? So Drain 2, it's good because it's passive healing. And then with this AoE where he pushes them back a bit, puts speed down on them, places Despair if their turn meter's too high to lock them down and control them. It's a bit of control. It's just a bit of control. I'm thinking he might be similar to Odin in that he will also bring decent damage. So Odin was a fantastic invoker that was able to control the situation, but also do some decent damage. And I think Camazotz is going to also bring a bit of damage for an invoker. That's my feeling. On paper, he looks all right. I wouldn't be ecstatic if I pulled him, but he might surprise us.
It's a good way to put it.
For those lotto winners that do end up hitting Awakening 5, eventually that strong crit hit would be great for the 10% turn meter steal. But I agree. I mean, he might be more of like a scaling damage will be nice for at least the time being, but it probably won't be like all over the place thing from what I'm reading so far. But he's a legendary. I mean, I'm sure he'll do some damage, and like you. A little bit of control here, a little bit there. It helps.
He is Eternal, so he has that going for him a little bit.
He does. His ultimate cost is mid-range, 1500, so unless you have an ultimate or divinity pusher in your team, he's going to struggle to have his ultimate very often. However, his base initiative is 121, which I think is quite high for initiative. All right.
Yeah.
He seems all right. Cizin. Let's take a look at Cizin. I love this faction, this realm. Ameokan have been designed so well. Just the colors that they use, the intricacies of everything with the bones and the spikes and the gold and the whatever feathers and all that stuff is so cool. Okay, Cizin, Lord of Death. He is a strength slayer in the Chaos Allegiance. His basic AoE on the basic is going to be a big smack with a chance to place acid for 2 turns. Nice little bonus there. His core, another AoE, massive smack with a chance to place Blaze 2. Could pair well with another Blaze hero. Awakening 1, if the target's under acid, also activates Blaze without reducing its duration. Ultimate, costing 1600. AoE, he's all about the AoE, Cizin. Then attack all enemies, then activate acid and blaze on each target. Also place precision on this hero for 1 turn. Precision is an increase to what?
Apologies. Precision. Guaranteed attacks are strong hits.
Right.
Guarantees attacks are strong hits.
That's right. That is an absolutely fantastic buff, and it is rare. We do not. This is the first time I think that we have seen precision on a hero. It's very rare to place this. You want to be placing precision on other heroes, right? Not necessarily on him for his strong hits, but it's good enough being able to self place that buff. Passive, if an enemy is under acid, reduce their incoming healing by 50%. Holy moly. When an enemy receives damage, Awakening 5, from acid has a 50% chance to increase the duration of acid and blaze on the target. So he's pushing that whole acid blaze thing. He gains divinity when attacking an enemy that's under acid or blaze. Of course, he wants to have them up, and 30% attack in dungeons. So yeah, you want this guy to absolutely smack and do those strong hits, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool synergy. It's a pretty cool mechanic to go, guess what, guys? I am going to just go out there. I'm going to strong hit with my AoEs, and I'm just going to smack down the enemy. I think Cizin is going to be a really welcome addition to a team in terms of putting out damage. He's just going to be a force of power damaging the enemies.
Absolutely. Takes acid to like a whole nother level. Really, it's just his whole kit. His whole kit really blends really well. Super strong.
The acid and the blaze definitely combined with him being Lord of Death. The lore on that too. And it just kind of keeps cycling back to, like Dan has mentioned it before, the lore that they put into this, thought they've put into a lot of these kits. It is such a great way to show the dedication they put into this. But I would agree, he's going to be a phenomenal AoE damage dealer. Dungeons, I mean, he's your wave clearer. That's what he's kind of looking like he's going to be doing. So it'll be a good start.
Death.
What is with me getting these freaking hard ones? All right.
Good luck.
Kinich Ahau?
Go for it. Just go for it.
Is that?
Just go.
All right.
That's fine.
Next,
That's fine.
I'm probably butchering. Yeah. Next, I'm probably butchering this name. Kinich Ahau, Lord of Judgment. He's a defender in the Eternal Alliance Order. Let me go down to the abilities. We have Sacred Brand. Attacking all enemies, more AoE, with a 50% chance to place Aether Burn 2 for 2 turns. Unrelenting Authority Core. Attack all enemies, 75% chance of placing Attack Down 2 and Blunt 2. Scorching Guardian. And there's where the defense is really going to help in there 2 of Radiance and resist up to placed on all allies for turn. Transfers Blaze and Aether Burn from all allies to this hero and attacks all enemies. Increases this hero defense by 5% up to 30% if a debuff is transferred. Awakening 3, you're increasing all allies defense when transferring a debuff instead. It's also helping. Solar Barrier passive. When an ally is damaged by an enemy, transfer 50% of the damage to this hero and increase the damage of the ally's ability by 10%. Awakening bonus 5 is still under review. Awakening bonus 1 looks like it's Awakening bonus 1 is actually ignoring resistance plus 20%, so it's not even going to buff any abilities. It's an interesting kit. He's definitely got that defender mentality, sure, and it fits it pretty well. Attack down, Blunt 2, and then your helps with your team and the Radiance 2, resistance up 2, transferring of damage, increasing the damage of your allies. It almost seems like he's more of an Invoker type combo defender, in my opinion. Like, he's got a good combo of things. There's a lot going on. The kit's actually pretty fully loaded. I like it. I feel like it, obviously once we know what the new Awakening bonuses for 5, which nobody's for a long time anyway, it could round it out some. Low cost for his ultimate at 1,000. Divinity generator, he's going to gain Divinity when inflicting damage, which I think is usually the opposite for defenders, so that's kind of backward. It's an interesting kit.
I love it. I think it's really good. But no, it's basically all I was going to say. I love the combination between Aether Burn and Blunt. So Aether Burn increases the target chance to weak hit and reducing Divinity by 3%, all heroes on the team. And the Blunt is decreasing the strong hit chance and strong hit damage. So just all overall, he's just a disabler. Like you were saying, he's a disruptor. Like, it's crazy. It's a strong defender. With great utility here.
He's really debilitating the enemy team. Okay, so he's like an anti-defender. He's the opposite of a defender, where he's saying, "I'm going to put ally protect and shields and defense up and extra defense stacking and barriers and stuff." Instead of that, he's saying, "I'm going to weaken the enemy team so that they come at you with everything they've got and they're just hitting you over the head with a bit of spaghetti," sort of thing. That's really the feeling that I get here with his debuffing. You need to land these debuffs. The strange thing I find about his ultimate is that he's only transferring Blaze and Aether Burn onto himself before he does this attack and increasing his defense. It has to be those particular debuffs that he's transferring. So you need to be up against enemies that are placing those debuffs on you. Fortunately, he's basically cleansing them, right? So he's doing a bit of a cleanse on your team from Blaze and Aether Burn, which we know are pretty nasty debuffs. But it's a little bit niche in that regard, where that's the consideration. However, placing Radiance 2 and Resistance up means that going forward after that ultimate, they're probably not going to end up getting this Blaze and this Aether Burn placed on them because they've got higher resistance. Possibly. And then an interesting, very niche ultimate there.
What I feel is weird about his ultimate is the Awakening bonus, how it's going to... The way that I'm reading it is you're not going to gain the defense bonus because it says transferring a debuff instead. Your team's going to get the defense bonus. I feel like it's almost beneficial to not awaken 3 him the way that I'm reading it.
No, it increases...
Yeah, especially because he's going to transfer the damage to himself too.
Yeah.
So he's going to be taking more damage.
But either way, I think it almost makes it stronger because I'm not looking at, I'm looking at Awaken 3s. I think Awaken 5 is definitely way more unrealistic. But anything under Awaken 3, still, it's more realistic to think viability and everything. Super strong. Super, super great. Solid hero here. Metztli. Oh, hey, it landed on me. Got the Wisdom Invoker. This is the hero that I locked in from the mini quests. Loving Metztli. Her basic. Back a single target and restore 20% destroyed HP of the ally with the most destroyed HP. Solid here right off the bat. The core, move 2 random debuff from all allies, then place block debuff on each target for 2 turns. Also heal 20% HP all allies. Our Awaken 3 bonus, also place resistance up 2 on each target for 2 turns. All buff not be removed. Ultimate revives all defeated allies with 40% health and turn meter. Also restores 50% of each ally's destroyed HP and increase their divinity by 20%. Awakening 1 bonus, also place Vanish on all allies except this hero for 2 turns. And Metztli passive. Store 20% of the target's destroyed HP when they receive a buff. Next Awakening, when this hero uses an ability, spread 1 random buff from this hero to all allies. Got a 20% speed bonus in all battles. Divinity Generator when placing a buff on an ally. I love Metztli. I think she's strong. She's super great lore, her whole backstory. Might be biased, so you guys, what do you think?
I think she's super strong, dude. She's got a revive, and it's an AoE revive. Very rare for any hero to be able to revive your entire party. You're never going to have destroyed max HP. You're always going to be maximum health, not full health, but it's always just going to be restored through all of this. The passives and the buffs, the debuff strip, the cleanse. Man, just this whole cleanse, but it's not just a cleanse, it's block debuffs as well. So your party is going to be free of debuffs and free of destroyed max HP, and they're going to be topped up all the time. Super strong.
I agree. I like the kit. I like it a lot. I feel like the receiving a buff, he's got 3 buffs. That's guaranteed. You're basically getting 20, 30, 40, 60. I like it a lot. It does it very well with itself. Like you said, you're never going to have any destroyed HP except for, obviously when you get the diminishing returns of, well, now you're down to you're getting 1% HP at that point because there's only 5% missing. Like you're always going to have some sort of help from that. I do like that. So far, I would say that this realm is pretty strong all around.
Mayakan is solid. I want to note too that she has 118 speed.
Yeah.
106 initiative.
She's a quick woman. Good. Next up is Moctezuma. Is that similar to Montezuma?
You could always look it up.
The Conqueror, Moctezuma. Look at his Makuhuitl as well. That would hurt, bro. He is a strength defender. Looking at his model, we can tell he's a defender because he has this awesome looking shield. Super cool. Let's go down. Basic. Attack an enemy twice. Each hit inflicts 50% increased damage to barrier and shield. If the target is not under barrier or shield, increase this hero's turn meter by 10%. So he's going to be getting turn meter increases quite a lot. Core. This is looking pretty serious on the core. AoE attack doubled. Before each hit, has a chance to remove barrier and shield. If the target's not under barrier or shield after attacking, has a chance to place Curse 2 on each target for 2 turns. Otherwise, place Acid on each target for 2 turns. Also, places Taunt on each target for a turn. If he's awakened 1, places Taunt for 2 turns. Solid core. Right off the bat here. Ultimate costing 1500. Place Ward on all allies for 2 turns, then AoE. Also, place Shield on all allies equal to 30% of the damage inflicted. This shield cannot exceed 25,000. Awaken 5. Increase the shield limit to 50,000 and reflects 100% of the damage inflicted to the shield. This will always be a normal hit and ignore 100% defense. That's a crazy awakening bonus. Passive. When an enemy attacks an ally, decrease the damage received by 20% and increase the damage this hero inflicts on their next ability by 5%. What does that mean? When an enemy attacks an ally, so when an enemy attacks someone in your party, it's 20% less damage, and it increases what he does when he attacks next. This is doubled if the enemy is under barrier or shield. Awakening 3, if an ally is defeated, activate his core ability, which is that crazy thing that removes barriers and places taunt. And finally, 30% defense in arena battles. I did not pick him as an arena hero until I saw that, and then I realized the place that you are mostly going to be using shields and barriers is in the arena, where you want shield mitigation and barriers to be placed up. And so he's basically the anti-barrier, anti-shield dude who's just going to come in. He's not just going to strip them of their shields. He's going to say, guess what? You're not taking a turn next round because you've been taunted, bro.
Yeah, the fact that he has a taunt is icing on the cake.
What makes him also extra strong, aside from doing the whole shield strip and controlling the thing and potentially placing acid, but placing curse and all of this, is that on his ultimate, he's one of the few heroes that can actually place ward on somebody else. And he doesn't just place it on someone, he places it on your whole party for 2 turns.
He basically takes that defender and flips it on its head compared to what we were just looking at with Kinich Ahau. You know, he, instead of being like, I'm going to, anti-defend, I'm going to make sure that these guys aren't doing much, and that's how I'll defend you, he actually does it by putting it on the allies, literally the backwards. I do like the kit, though. It'll be fun to use. The shield not exceeding 25,000, that's more than what your base health is on the legendary already. So it's, that's still a hefty chunk of health. I like the kit. I think he can be strong. I think that this realm is strong all around.
Also remember that the shield is not going to take damage until ward disappears.
Right.
So
Right.
up front, they're going to be able to take 2 hits, and then the shield starts to dissipate. In the meantime, you are nuking the enemy team who has been taunted. So they're not even taking turns anyway. It's super good control for arena, super good skill in removing barrier, and even just placing curse on someone in the arena. I think this guy's solid.
Yeah, I agree. Super good hero here.
So we'll continue on here with the strong Icon legendaries.
Hold on, before we move on, I wanted to say I did look it up. Monezuma is the same as Moctezuma.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought so.
Monezuma is the common English spelling variation.
So it's just us messing up the name.
No, they're going with the more traditional, ancient mythology.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, or the way you put
But
it.
like it's us in English that are messing up the actual name of it rather than just doing it right, calling him Moctezuma. All right, so we're gonna continue on with our Icon strong legendary, and you have Quetzalcoatl here now. It's in Wisdom Invoker, Alliance Order, and with a base 18 speed, 118, pardon. And I did just go back and look. Ice is still the number 122 for your base speed, but we're up there. We're pretty close. Start with the basic ability of Serpent Fangs. Attack one enemy and heal 10% max HP on all allies. That max HP is of Quetzalcoatl. If the attack's a strong hit, places Petrify on the target for 1 turn. Once you awaken to 3, places Petrify on any attack that cannot be. Soaring Currents for the core, turn meter of all allies by 20%. Places speed up 2 on each target for 2 turns. Awakening bonus 1 increases speed of each target by 10, stacking up to 30. Light of Knowledge for the ultimate with a low cost of 1,000, placing initiative up to, accuracy up to on all allies, increasing turn meter of ally with the highest turn meter by % when this hero's divinity reaches 100 as well. Passive of Age of Rebirth, heroes defeated, it revives 2 allies. It's a unique passive and unique revival. With 50% HP, increase their initiative by 5%, stacking up to 3 times. Once per wave. An awakening bonus revives all allies instead. Divinity gain generator for bonus, placing a buff, which got several. So he's just going at 24% speed in dungeon battles aura for the leader bonus. I know in the alpha I had him on I think 2 different waves, including the last one. He churns and churns the initiative, the speed, the healing, turn meter. Your team just kind of goes. It's like they're on a downhill bicycle. It just rolls. I did love having it. I think that they've nerfed him a little bit since the alpha. I'm not sure if it was scaling or if they changed the kit too much. Doesn't look like it's too much different. Petrify, though, does look different. That might be a change as well. But that revival was a little interesting to use. And then you kind of need another reviver to bring him back, too. So, especially for if you want it to stack. So that kind of adds a niche to him as well. So it's good that having to die in order to revive is, though, I think, on his end.
Yeah, Quetz is fun. It's a solid. I don't notice much of a change at all from Alpha. Anything that's jumping out.
I'm not
I forget if it's
sure. Right. Yeah, people were saying that the buffs that he places have changed, but initiative up and accuracy up are really strong. So maybe that's what has changed. I think it was sharpen and attack up or something like that instead of accuracy
you
up.
Might be right. Yeah, sharpen.
Yeah,
sounds more familiar.
I think it was sharpen 2 and attack up 2, which was way overpowered. However, look at the second part of his ultimate, which makes him even more overpowered. Increase the turn meter of the ally with the highest turn meter by 50%. Guess what happens if that ally's turn meter reaches 100%? Do they instantly get a turn? They shift in the turn order, but do they instantly get a turn, or do they wait till the next turn? Like, as soon as he's had his turn, that person is going, they can cut in on the enemy. Like, if in your turn order, it goes Ketz and then a couple of enemies, all of a sudden you might suddenly have another one of your heroes straight after Ketz before the enemies have their turn, because of that passive built into the ultimate there, which is crazy. And the fact that he can petrify, he has to do a strong hit, mind you, to petrify the target, but extra icing on the top, right?
Yeah, Quetz is solid.
He's a pusher, he's a healer, he's a reviver. And isn't there an imprint that if you die, you're like, what is the Sun Wukong imprint? Because if you die, do you actually die, or does it prevent death? Is there an imprint that's not just prevent death, but it's if you take a killing blow, you die and then you revive? Because if there is an imprint like
Not
that...
what Hercules is like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it counts it as a death, doesn't it? But it brings you back. So if you place that imprint on Ketz, he dies, he does his passive where he revives, and then he revives himself. If that's the case, if it's considered an actual death for the sake of that imprint.
That's interesting.
Interesting play with it, sure.
That's crazy. Quetz opens a lot of potential. Good gameplay. Next up, looking at Tlaloc. Might not be pronouncing that right. Tlaloc.
Look at his spear, dude. That's awesome.
Sick.
Looks
like a giant
good
lightning
character
bolt.
model. He's an Eternal Slayer. His basic, attack a single target 3 times. Each hit ignores 5% of the target's defense, which is doubled if the target is under Hex 2. Core is an AoE, pretty big one, has an 80% chance to place Hex 2 on each target for 2 turns. Also place 2 stacks of Banish on enemies defeated by this ability. For Awakening 1, place accuracy up 2 and Immortal for 2 turns on this hero before attacking. The ultimate is an AoE. Each enemy hit will also ricochet to a random enemy, inflicting damage and increasing the target's divinity cost 3%. The Awakening bonus at level 3 is also increase this hero's attack 2%, max 25 stacks for successful ricochets. The passive, each hit from this hero has a 50% chance to inflict additional damage, scaling at 100% attack, a random enemy. Max Awaken, enemies under Hex will always receive the extra damage. 35% attack in all battles. There's a couple things here I'm like trying to verify or confirm. How are you guys taking this?
Can you look up Ricochet? Because when we saw Ricochet for the first time on Zeus, I assumed that it is a guaranteed hit.
Bounce.
Yeah. But it says each enemy hit will also blah 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 increase the divinity. Increase this hero's attack for successful ricochet. Does that mean that a ricochet can be unsuccessful? So we didn't actually look it up before.
Yep, ricochet here is attack a random target, then continues chaining to new targets. Each attack has a lower chance to occur.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Because it's an
Does
AoE.
it show any percentage or rate? Yeah.
Yeah, so you think about this. His ultimate is an AoE. You're attacking all enemies. Every enemy has a chance to ricochet to another enemy, which has a chance to ricochet. So you're probably going to get off 7 or 8 extra bangs, right, from that AoE. At minimum, you're going to get 1. At max, you're probably going to get like 12.
Can you imagine if one of those champions hit by 10 times, basically? Because it's going to bounce. You're taking somebody out.
It increases their divinity cost as well, which is an awesome little passive. You're basically going, you are going to have to build your ultimate meter for much longer because I've ricocheted into you a few times and your divinity cost has just skyrocketed. Well, not skyrocketed, but increased, right? I think he sounds really strong. I think triple hitter is always welcome in a team. There is certain content, like we said before, they're basing a lot of stuff It's really ingenious and creative and everything, this game, but they are basing it on other gachas where you have certain content where triple hitters are going to help for certain things, AoE is going to help for certain things. I think the fact that he brings a triple hitter on his basic is really cool. Plus we've got this whole play around with Hex, but that's not till Awakening 5, but just placing Hex means extra damage going out. Imagine Awakening him 1 too, that would be pretty sick.
Yeah, and then think even like a step further for giving him a weapon, imprint, etc. that has extra on-hit effects. A lot of crazy potential here.
Absolutely. Yeah, the synergy between the right weapon with the right imprint and just doing more damage all round. Bam, bam, bam. And then ricocheting. I reckon this guy would be awesome to have.
Mind blown by the potential for the amount of ricochets that you could get and just get lucky.
It probably reduces it, but
he could be slightly OP, honestly.
Like Zeus in the alpha had like a 20% chance to do the extra turn or something like that,
right.
And it felt like 80 to 90%.
Oh,
it's like you constantly were doing it.
I know.
20% went out the window. It felt like 80 to 90.
It felt like he was doing it all the time. Yeah. So this ricochet thing, I think there's a limit to it, obviously, because it increases the or decreases the probability that it's going to go off, and it probably increments in like 25% increments or something, whatever they've programmed it, right? You can probably get a maximum of 3 ricochets if you hit that 1% RNG kind of thing. But still, sounds very cool on paper. Tlaloc. Moving on to Tian. First up is Mulan. Mulan is a cunning slayer. Right off the bat, we get to see what the Tian are capable of in the slayer realm. Basic, Swift River. Double attack against an enemy. Crits reduce the target's defense, stacking up to 20%. Not bad. Core, attack a single enemy on the core, increase the damage inflicted by 10% for each living enemy. So when you're going up against a set of enemies of full 5, then it can increase the damage by 50%. Places Vanish on herself for 2 turns. Awakened 3, we do not know yet. Ultimate, attack an enemy 3 times, so it's all single targets. Each hit has a chance to place Drain 2 and Hex 2 on the target for 2 turns. If it's defeated, decrease this hero's divinity cost by 10%, stacking up to 30% decreased cost. If you have that 30% decreased cost, 30% of 1200 is 400, so it only costs 800 for the ultimate. If this hero is under Vanish, ignore the target's resistance, which means you're going to be placing that Drain 2 and that Hex 2 a lot more easily, but it is still only 40% per hit. Still, triple hitter, 40% per hit, you're basically going to land the Drain 2 and Hex 2 on your target if you've got the accuracy. Passive, increase the chance to strong hit by 20% when inflicting damage under Vanish. So she plays on the whole Vanish thing, right? She wants to stay vanished, so she cannot be targeted. That's her mitigation, and she goes in and she does this extra stuff. Awakening 5, if this hero is under Vanish and would be defeated, prevents her death and grants them an extra turn. 25% attack in all dungeon battles, and the bonus divinity gain is inflicting damage and when attacking under Vanish. I see her as kind of niche. The whole single target.
It's a shame that she needs max awakening for that Civ awakening bonus.
I'll just chuck the.
At least like if that was natural and it wasn't an awakening bonus, then she could be like super good. She could be good. She could be good, not super good.
Chuck the Son of Zeus imprint on her then. If you ever get the Son of Zeus imprint, which of course is a legendary imprint, so you're probably not going to get it. But for anyone that locked in the Son of Zeus imprint, if they're not using it anywhere else, they could use it on Mulan if they really, really want to build her. But to me, she seems fairly lackluster.
Especially with the dungeon aura. Like, for the leader bonus being a dungeon bonus and all single target, that definitely gonna hurt. I think that she, like you said, underwhelming. I believe, unless the Awakening 3 ability that's still under review changes that a little bit to have some AoE maybe to it. I feel like the dungeon aura just kind of kills it, brings her down. Seems like she'd be more of that, like, boss type, single target damage type. Maybe in a dungeon boss you could use her and she'd be great, so that might help. But I definitely think that dungeon leader bonus kind of hurts her kit with the way it's built.
I think that's what they were aiming for, though, is their thought on dungeons is when you get to the end of the dungeon, you're facing a boss, which tends to be focusing on a single target. Now, we know that a lot of bosses have minions. She's not going to stand her ground against minions because she's going to have to single target. Maybe in a particular setup, a particular party, a particular team, she's actually going to be okay to go in and do that damage and kill what you need to kill. But yeah, she's going to have to rely on her team a lot.
We're at Pangu. This is one of the guys that everybody loved in the alpha. Pangu. the first being felt like he was the best we were playing Alpha. He is a brawler, an Eternal, and when you get down, he's got slow speed and initiative with 96 and 96. But two of them, only reason I mention them is because I know that his kit is also built based on those two stats. His first ability is World Splitter, attack one enemy. If this hero has more initiative than speed, increases resistance by 1%, otherwise increases defense by 1. Once you awaken him once, also increase accuracy by 1% when initiative is more than, and increase attack by 1% when speed is more than initiative. So the core of Heaven and Earth, place accuracy up on this hero for 2 turns, attack all enemy, and if he has more initiative than speed, place defensive down on each target for 2 turns, increases hero speed by 50. Otherwise, you're going to place initiative down on each target for 2 turns and decreases hero's speed by 50. Dread Awakening 3. This hero has more initiative than speed. Place attack down. Otherwise, place a random lock on each target turn. That lock is new. That was not there in the alpha. I have played with him a lot. You know, the attack down was definitely there, but the lock not. Yin and Yang for his ultimate 1150 cost. Places resistance up on this hero for 2 turns, then attacks all, and if the hero has more speed than initiative, then place drain 2 on each target for 2 turns. Increases hero's initiative by 50. Otherwise, place down on each target 2 turns and decreases hero's initiative by 50. Awakening 5 increases hero's HP by 10% as well, stacking up to 50%. Balance of Force. For his passive, if this hero has more initiative than speed, attacks steal 10% turn meter from the target. Otherwise, they steal 10% divinity from the target. He also has a 35% E in all battles for his leader bonus, with the Divinity Generator bonus, attacking enemies on debuffs, which is great, placing debuffs. He's got a lot. Kit is very, very convoluted. There's so many things going on. And because of his ultimate, I believe that his initiative up going down and or his speed going up and down, it actually changed how his kit interacted throughout the fight. So you ended up with everything that's listed here at some point during that fight. You ended up with him placing a drain. He placed the speed down. He placed the attack down. He placed the defense down, the initiative down, and now a lock. He was phenomenal. The lock is new. I think that actually adds to his kit, which makes him even stronger. But it made him interesting having to build it, because depending on what you're trying to do, you either threw a buttload more initiative than speed on him, or you threw a buttload more speed than initiative on him. And then you let him kind of even himself out to the point where he was ultimate. And I thought he was really strong in the alpha. I don't think that's changed. That lock, I think, actually boosts.
Didn't his ultimate used to deal like a nuke damage? Wasn't it like a single target nuke?
No, it was AoE.
Or it might have been an AoE nuke. It was an AoE nuke.
Double AoE.
But it was like a nuke. Yeah. I feel like they took away the nuke
really
part of it.
Well, it depends how you build him. If he has enough HP and attack, the multipliers are really good on his ultimate. So for a brawler, he is one of the best brawlers that we have seen in the whole game. He brings damage, he brings all these debuffs. If you have, he's hard to build enough accuracy to place these debuffs, but as Bren was saying, it's that equilibrium, right? You are going, well, I'm starting with higher speed than initiative because I know that it's going to swap out during the fight, and therefore I want to do my ultimate a bit faster, but by that stage I'm getting my turn faster, but I'm doing other stuff. And so here's this yin-yang kind of thing that's constantly just swapping between higher initiative, higher speed, and just tacking on resistance and defense and health and everything that he brings. He just empowers himself, and then he comes down with a big smack. This big spinning thing that he does with his ultimate there is very cool. Very strong for a brawler.
Pair him with his weapon too was phenomenal. I ended up doing that. He was biggest carry that I had throughout the alpha. I will be ecstatic when I finally get him in game. He was very much used. He will continue to be, especially with the way the kit still stays. He's solid champion.
Bringing all that stuff, man. He's bringing so much to the table. For a hybrid champion to bring this much makes him even stronger. Because, like we've been discussing, you bring in a brawler in place of a separate Slayer and Invoker, usually. It's kind of the hybrid taking up only one slot sort of thing, which, yeah, just makes Pangu very, 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 very strong for that slot.
You know he's good when we're over here, like, rooting for a brawler. We got Sun Wukong next. Cunning Slayer, Monkey King. His basic is a single target and increase this hero's divinity by 5%. If he's joining an attack, increase divinity by an additional 5%. Also mirror one random buff on the target. His core is an AoE for 2 times. For each buff on this hero, increase the damage inflicted by 10%. At level 3 Awakening, each hit has a 50% chance to mirror one random buff from the target. Ultimate. Attack 8 times at random. Each hit has a 35% chance. Heal this hero for 8% of the damage inflicted. Decrease the target's turn meter by 8%. If a target is hit more than 5 times, additional hits inflict 50% reduced damage. Max Awakening. If a clone strikes the same target more than once, inflict additional damage, 72% attack to all other enemies. If there are no other enemies, has a 30% chance to inflict the damage to the initial target instead. And his passive, place a mortal on this hero for 1 turn when receiving fatal damage for the first time. Also has a 50% chance to join an ally's attack. And if you have 1 copy of him, will always join the attack with a hero from Tien. 24% speed for all battles. There's a few things I wanted to note here. Someone had mentioned it in my Discord community that was he nerfed at one point to where his ultimate, it used to be 2 turns, now it's down to 1. Did you guys catch that?
What do you mean?
Place a mortal on this hero for 1 turn. It used to be 2.
Oh, his passive? I don't know. Maybe it did used to be 2, but I mean, Immortal for 1 turn is good enough. I think that's a little bit OP. Just placing Immortal.
Yeah. But other than that, he's the buff mimic.
He's gonna hit hard.
I love Wukong. Yeah, I think he's good. He's solid, fun hero. Visually, he's fun to play. You get to see the animations with his ultimate and stuff. Not in the alpha. Like this was just in Simon's videos and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a very good Slayer who brings a lot of damage.
There's not much really that I can say about him. I mean, it's Wukong. He's very widely used in a lot of games right now. Gacha games out there have used him. He's got his own game. He's probably one of the more well-known legends in this area of lore, and so the clones, he's very, very fitting to that. So it'll be cool to see. And 8 times, that's quite a bit. You know, obviously it decreases for different multi-attacks, but I think as long as they do all the graphics properly, I love it. I think it's gonna be fun.
Tianlong, Heavenly Dragon, Eternal Defender. Good start already. Let's take a look. Basic, attack an enemy with a 50% chance to place attack down 2 on the target. Good start. Core, place a mortal on himself for 2 turns, then place intercept on all allies except himself. If an ally already has intercept, increase its duration, so it's a buff extension. Awakening 3, while under Immortal, damage received from intercept cannot exceed 15% of his max HP. That's pretty solid. Ultimate, costing 1000. Remove all debuffs from all allies, full cleanse, attack all enemies. Also, increase the defense of all allies by 10%, stacking up to 30%, and increase the duration of intercept on all allies by another turn. Awakening 1 resets the cooldown of Aerial Aegis, which is his core. So he basically resets his core if he's awakened and uses his ultimate, which is crazy.
That's
Passive.
crazy.
When damaged by intercept, heal the attacked ally and place barrier on them. That is a little bit niche because there has to be an intercept out, but he's placing intercept on them through his core, so they will have intercept on them. If other heroes place intercept, such as Heimdall, they can take advantage of this as well if they have the imprint, because I've actually saved the imprint for the account that has Heimdall on it, so that the Pillar of the Sky imprint actually is really useful. And 30% defense in all battles. Placing the barrier from the passive is very cool with this whole heal and intercept thing. Cleanse on a defender, pretty crazy.
That is crazy. Like, there's a lot of little pieces in here that bang them out in different scenarios. He is strong, super strong.
Yeah, you make
attack
him,
is scaling off defense. Like, there's a lot of good points here about this hero.
You make him tanky, and this intercept is going to be really good because he's taking the damage instead and just totally protecting his team. Plus he has a mortal up on him, so he can't die. It's nuts. I'd love to have this guy.
Yeah.
I'll be excited to play with him. He's definitely got a good kit for defender. I have no real complaints on this one at all. I'm curious. We're going to not be seeing it for a while still, regardless of the Awakening 5, what they're going to add on there. But other than that, I mean, the kit as it is still pretty solid. So seeing so far, Tien has some good strong legendaries to go along with what they've got so far. So the last one in our Tien realm, Wang, Damned King of Dayu. He is a strength disruptor and with a chaos allegiance. He is a 105 speed, 121 base initiative, which is pretty solid for disruptor. You got your basic start with Spirit Shackles. Attacks all enemies. We got some AoE to right off the rip. 35% chance to place speed down 2 on each target for a turn. And at the first awakening bonus, if an enemy is already under speed down 2, 35% chance to place sleep for 1 turn instead. Dreadful Omen for his core to another AoE with a 75% chance of placing random defense down 2, attack down 2, accuracy down 2, or resistance down 2 on each target. With Max Awakening, the enemy is already under speed down 2 from his basic, essentially. 75% chance of placing an additional debuff. His ultimate with a 1700 cost attacks all enemies and has a 50% chance to place Lock 4 and Lock Ultimate on each target for 2 turns. Those are solid.
That's pretty big.
Everything's AoE, great. And Judgment of Dayu passive, increasing this hero's initiative by 2%, stacking up to 30 after placing a debuff. After you hit Awakening 3, each debuff on an enemy damage they inflict by 5% up 25 for a max 19% initiative in all battles. I kind of like how the debuffs in the passive, increasing the hero's initiative, all about debuffs. He's got potential to place 4, 5, 6, 7. All pretty good synergy on that. So, I mean, I do like it. I like the way it's built. It seems like it's going to be a little interesting with the random RNG on it. However, once you get Awakening 5, eventually, you get at least a little bit more control because then you're guaranteed to have the speed down. But, I mean, yeah, RNG, 35% chance on that one. All AoE, you're placing it some places. So, I mean, it's going to have to build up, I think, some of these debuffs. But
yeah, for me, he's definitely not a top pick disruptor. I think the whole RNG element of it and how bad will it feel if you build him, you bring him in, you do his ultimate, and the 50-50 falls on the wrong side, and you don't lock their core or lock their ultimate, you just do the attack. It's gonna 50% of the time he's not gonna be locking out their core and their ultimate. Just the whole RNG nature of it to me feels like he's gonna be difficult to fit into a team and feel good.
I think you nailed it. That's where my mind was headed towards even having a 35% chance for speed down 2. Just everything kind of too RNG is the way to put it. He definitely has some power, and if he could pull off some probably easy plays and push it through some content, but it might be repetitive to try and push it through the RNG. Yeah, Yan Wang. We are on the last realm, Virage, and I am covering Belobog. So I heard Belobog is like insanely broken right now. I have not even looked at his kit. I don't know why people were saying that. Maybe they were trolling. I don't know. We got Eternal Invoker. His basic is a single target attack, and he places attack up 2 on all allies for 1 turn. Core is block debuff and stalwart on all allies for 2 turns and attacks all enemies. Also decrease the cooldown of all ally core abilities by 1 turn. If Chernobog is on the team, he joins the attack using his core ability. Awakening 3 is refresh the cooldowns of all ally core abilities instead. A refresh instead of decrease. Okay. Ultimate, increase the rank of all buffs on allies by 1 and decrease the rank of all debuffs on all allies by 1. Increase, oh my god. Also, equalize the turn meter of all allies to the enemy with the highest turn meter. Now, Max Awakening, then gain an extra turn, which is huge. If Chernobog is on the team, increase his turn meter by 100%. So that's awesome too, if you ever get there. Then the passive, when an ally receives a debuff, decrease its duration by 1 turn. And if you have 1 copy, when an ally receives a buff, increase its duration by 1 turn. 25% speed in all battles. Yeah, this kit has a lot of like crazy points to it, right?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want me to talk about it a little bit?
You go.
Okay, so he seems nuts. Like, just even here on paper, when you think about all of what he's doing, he's blocking debuffs and placing stalwart, right? He's decreasing the cooldown of everyone in your team's core ability. So if anyone in your team is 1 turn away from doing their core, the next time they get to do it again. Reducing cooldown on stuff is actually massive. If you get to Awakening 3, that's insane because it's a full reset. It's a full core reset on his core. Of course, getting to Awakening 3, as we've been discussing through this whole video, is very, very difficult. But then we've got the ultimate, increase the rank of every buff. So if you've got sharpen 2, something 2, something 2, they're getting increased to sharpen 3, stalwart 3, whatever, right? Resistance 3. Everything is being increased that extra rank, which is massive. Decrease the rank of the debuffs. Instead of curse 2 and hex 2 on your team, you're getting reduced to curse 1, hex 1, blaze 1. What if, and we've discussed this before on one of the epics that actually does something similar, what if you're at rank 1 already? Does it drop the debuff off? We've discussed that, and we'd like to Fateless, we would like to know the answer to this. I know we're about 3 hours into this video and you're probably not watching it, but we would like to know the answer. If you're at debuff rank 1, does it drop the debuff? We'll find out the answer to that. And then with the passive,
are we also going to create a new rank with the going up too? I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Have an attack up 4.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But the passive where you decrease the duration of the debuffs. So not only through the ultimate reducing the rank of the debuffs, but reducing the duration of the debuffs, it's going to drop off debuffs. And he's going to place block debuffs when he does his core, so they can't even get debuffs on them anyway. I reckon he is absolutely nuts. He has a base speed of 119. He's right up there with the speedy speed kings. Oh, this guy is, yeah, like I said, on paper, this guy seems super legit in terms of support.
It's almost like a little counterintuitive that his speed is so high because you want to be able to have your whole team go first, use their cores, you go in, use your core, decrease their cooldowns of all their cores.
Not necessarily.
Like, that's how I would play it.
Yeah, not necessarily.
No, you're right, not necessarily. I'm just thinking like that's one scenario.
It does help. Yes, you do want your team to run through their cores, and then he has a turn. He goes, "You're not going to get debuffs on you because I'm placing block debuffs, and I'm reducing the cooldown on your core now." Yeah, if you can speed tune in that way, you definitely want him to go after your team has used their cores for sure. But if it's a longer fight, you're not really going to care about that. You're going to want him to rotate through stuff as fast as possible all the time.
That's true. True. And you know what? It's one of those plays where even that scenario like might not be the best thing anyways, because you got to attack up 2 on your basic. So if you're going first, just boom, attack up 2, you know what I mean? Then you kind of hold that. There's a lot of different scenarios there. Either way, the kit just overall is insane.
And then I kind of looked ahead a little bit at his partner there. Honestly, this synergy is pretty solid.
Okay.
I could see why people might be saying that he might be a little overpowered because, I mean, the kit's great. That's that reset. You get your guys going back over and over again, and when he jumps in, he gets to just do his core whenever the other guy uses his core. I mean, I didn't read it yet. Let's get into it. He's next. Chernobog is next. I would not be offended having the combo of these two guys at any. To be perfectly honest with you, I like the way that these are synergizing. I think that they did a great job with the barrage combo.
You cheated. You looked ahead at Chernobog because we're going to
go. I know. I didn't look ahead.
Right, Chernobog, Bleak Anathema. He is basically the counterpart to Belobog in the lore. He is an eternal slayer, obviously chaos, as opposed to Belobog's order allegiance. Let's take a look here. Basic. Oh, massive attack. Did it say he was a slayer? Damn, that's going to do some serious damage, guys. Massive attack against an enemy with a chance to place Terrify. This is the first time we have seen the debuff Terrify, by the way, on the target for 2 turns. If this hero joins an attack or retaliates, attack all enemies instead. So if it's a team attack or if it's a retaliation, it becomes an AoE. Attacks ignore intercept and charm. That is a really cool caveat. What does Terrify do?
It increases the divinity cost by 50%.
Ooh, that is nasty. Core, 1 attack, but triple. Place Retaliate on himself. If Belobog is on the team, the buff cannot be removed or reduced. Also, if the enemy is defeated, increases divinity by 100%. So if he does a one-shot, then all of a sudden he's got his ultimate back. Awakening 3, place Phoenix on this hero for 1 turn, which does not reduce on turn. Wait. Oh, I see. It's until someone tries to kill him. So basically, if someone tries to kill him, the Phoenix will reduce. It doesn't tick down. That's pretty nuts. Yeah. Ultimate, 1250 divinity cost. Single enemy, triple attack. If the target's max HP is greater than this hero, each hit will inflict an additional 5%. The target's max HP is lower, each hit will always strong hit. Awakening 1. Place Banish on enemies defeated by this ability for 2 turns. Passive. After this hero joins an attack, gains an extra turn or retaliates. If after this hero joins an attack, gains an extra turn, or retaliates, this hero's next ability will ignore 15% of the target's defense and ignore shield, barrier, immortal, ward, and defense up. Basically ignoring everything, a bit like Ares, right? Going in and just...
As a passive, this
Yeah.
is strong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Awakening 5, dare we even look at it? After 5 enemy turns, if this hero is defeated, revive him with 100% HP and turn meter. If Belobog is on the team, remove, banish, and block revive before reviving. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Wow.
He doesn't have a...
Combo of these guys is a little nutty.
He doesn't have a leader bonus, but he's gonna absolutely smack. Plus that Terrify debuff. And being able to
Dude, you
retaliate.
weren't wrong, Bran. You weren't wrong. Like, the combo with these
And
two.
he
Belobog
joins the
and this
attack
guy.
with
Oh my
Chernobog,
God.
so he's getting that
Yeah.
extra bonus every time Chernobog goes too. So it's like, these guys are going to be nuts.
If they're together, he's always gonna have retaliate up on him.
And he
This is the-
and he joins the attack too. The combo. I understand why people might be saying they might be a little OP. This is
Yeah.
this is a
Yeah,
good
now I
combo
see why
kit. Like
it's insane. This is the best synergy by far. Like, I can't think of another one that's this good. Crazy.
I don't think any that we've covered, at least I've been with you guys for these two videos, have been this nutty. This is
Rare's
the
had some
synergy
good
between you two
synergy.
guys.
Rare's had some good synergy for sure, but like this level is nuts.
It's a heck of a combo. They are going to be a 1-2 punch that'll be hard to stop.
I'm
That's
I'm just thinking in terms of his passive, is gaining an extra turn counted when somebody else gives you 100% turn meter? Is that considered gaining an extra turn? Because how else does he gain an extra turn? Because he
Let's
doesn't
say
have it in
no
his
on that
kit.
front.
He doesn't have it in his own kit, but there must be a way to gain an extra turn from other...
does the Dark Assault with the increasing hero divinity by 100% if he comes back, does that count as an extra turn? Because technically you get your ultimate back and you get to take your ultimate as long as you get the turn.
It's not an extra turn.
No?
I think it would
Okay.
be his so I think it would be Belobog's ultimate at Awakening Max 5, how it says if Chernobog is on the team, increases his turn meter by 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an extra turn or not, though.
That's what I'm asking. Like, otherwise,
Yeah.
is there some way in the game from another hero or another passive or something to give someone an extra turn under specific circumstances? In which case,
Or is it
he will gain an extra turn.
is it his 100% when he gets his awakening bonus at 5 as well? He revives with 100% HP and turn meter as well.
Yeah, that would be considered an extra turn. I think if you are given 100% turn meter, it's included as an extra turn. So if someone gives you 100% turn meter, that's an extra turn. It has to be, right? Nutty pair.
Also, he's the only one with Tire Gamer. That's why we didn't see it before.
The only one with what, sorry?
Terrify,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
the debuff.
That's a cool debuff.
He is the only one. Oh yeah, no, yeah, he's the only one. I looked quick because I was like, oh wait a minute, because we haven't seen Terrify. I went in there and had double checked it for a second. He's the only one.
Just to confirm, too, because this is what I was looking into, no hero directly grants extra turn to another ally.
That's right. So it has to be 100% turn meter granted from another hero.
Or his own passive once you get Awakening 5.
Yeah.
Or that.
Next up is my last one being covered in our legendary spat here of Dracula, the Impaler. He is a brawler, he is cunning, and he is a Chaos Allegiance. His basic starts with Transfusion. Attack one enemy 2 times. Each hit having a 75% chance of placing 1 stack of bleed, while also healing himself if the target is under bleed, 5% of max HP. Once you awaken him once, places 1 stack of bleed on all enemies instead. Blood Mist for his core places 2 stacks of bleed on all enemies. Removes 1 random buff from each target, and if a buff was removed, place 3 stacks of bleed instead, while also gaining an extra turn. Awakening 3 bonus is still under review, so they're going to come back with that later. The ultimate costs 2100, attacking all enemies 4 times. Before he attacks, consume all stacks of bleed on each target and increases the damage inflicted by 8% per stack of bleed consumed. Awakening bonus 5, if we ever get to see that. I can't wait one day. Also, destroy each target's HP by 10% of the damage inflicted, up 60% of the target's HP. Symphony of Night passive, start of an enemy's turn. If under bleed, increased damage of this hero's next attack by 10%. That he's nutty. He was definitely used on stage 151 in the alpha. I used him. I'm on there. He was just stack bleeds and let him go. Try not to use the ultimate though, because you wanted those bleeds to stay on the final boss. I love the way his kit is, and obviously fits the name of Dracula. Bleed, 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 bleed. I loved it back in the alpha. I think that he's still going to be pretty strong. I think you kind of have to be able to build him up some. He's healing himself too. So he's got his own self-sustainability. He also has some solo ability at that point. I liked the kit the way it was before. It doesn't seem like it's any different from that. I don't know what you guys think.
It's changed. He's still the king of bleeds. Okay, so he's still got this really good synergy with bleeds, but he no longer puts himself to sleep and restores his HP. That's something that's seriously missing from his kit, and that was a little bit OP, because you'd come up against a wave of Dracula and you would kill him, but then all of a sudden he would put himself to sleep and restore his HP, so you'd have to kill him twice, which was kind of annoying. But if you left him alone, he couldn't attack you on that turn, so you could kind of work around that if possible. Yeah, so they've completely removed the sleep restoration aspect of it. But overall, he was just fun to play with, especially.
Did they add the extra turn mechanic? I don't remember him having an extra turn. He might have. I just don't remember that.
I think he did have an extra turn. Yes. I don't know if you had to unlock the extra turn, but he did have an extra turn on his core where he's popping up all these bleed stacks. And then he can go in and attack again and put more bleeds up. I'm pretty sure he had the extra turn mechanic. But yeah, overall, he's just a fun bleed champion to play with. He's not huge in terms of damage that he puts out, but against bosses, bleed is a very significant debuff. And so he shines in long boss fights where you're just playing with bleed, stacking bleed, doing a bit more damage, keeping himself alive, pulling all the bleeds off and doing that damage as he goes in, and then start stacking up the bleeds again so that when the boss takes a turn, it takes all that extra max HP damage ticking down off its health bar.
It's Dracula. Everyone's going to want to play Dracula. Yeah, awesome stuff. Perun is a strength disruptor for his basic. You have attack a single target 2 times, a 50% chance to place speed down 2 on the target for 2 turns. Awakening level 1 also places initiative down 2 on the target for 2 turns. Its core is an AoE, pretty big one, a 75% chance to reduce the turn meter of each target by 20%. And at max awakening, if a target's turn meter is above 50%, reduce their turn meter by 40% instead. His ultimate is you're going to attack 7 times at random. Each hit has a 35% chance to decrease the target's turn meter by 10%. Additional attacks against the same target reduce their turn meter by 5%. At level 3 awakening, if a target's turn meter is reduced to 0%, place stun on them for 1 turn. And then his passive, when an enemy hero has their turn meter decreased, increase this hero's turn meter by 4%. 25 initiative in arena battles, which is kind of interesting. He's all about this turn meter manipulation is how I'm taking it.
He's not really standout. All he's doing is he's manipulating the turn meter of your enemies, and even more so with initiative down if he's awakened and speed down by default. Just a chance to play speed down too. He doesn't shine. He doesn't seem that great. If you want to control turn meter in a specific battle where turn meter manipulation is key, bring in Perun if you've got him, but it may not be worth the resources to build him.
He does start out with 122 initiative, which is pretty high. It does scale into initiative, but
yeah.
He's a disruptor.
They want him to take his ultimate as often as possible, where he's doing this chance to decrease their turn meter, just constantly decreasing the turn meter of the enemy team. They may never take a turn. If you've got a fast Perun and he's getting enough ultimates, you could potentially be limiting the enemy team from even taking a turn, which I think is why he's slated as an arena champion, because if you can prevent the enemy team from even taking a turn, you've got all the time in the world to bring to bear your guys who you don't need to build with a lot of speed potentially. If you have a certain arena team that has this guy in it, they don't need as high a speed, and therefore you can build their other stats out a lot more.
Yeah, because you're coming out with your core 75% chance AoE to deal 20% turn meter reduction right off the bat. Your whole team, if you get enough speed in there, like you said, something viable there for PvP. But I agree. I don't think he's like a go-to.
Yeah, nothing really jumped. I mean, it does look nice with the extra bonus affinity with the turn meter, core obviously jumping it. It doesn't give you like a bonus of like depending on how much turn meter you reduce it. So even the after you awaken them too, you're above 50%, reducing it by 40%. It doesn't help with that. So his speed being 106, it might be a little hard to build up, but yeah, if you get him fast enough, I mean, he does have it. He will be least somewhat useful. And you get another speed booster in there too, or something along those lines. But he didn't really jump. Not something that like stands out as I would need to have him day one.
Moving along, this is our final hero, not just from the Virage faction, but overall of the heroes that we're going to be covering. Svarog, Father of Fire, is a wisdom defender in the Order Allegiance. Svarog has been touted as one of the top tier defenders. Basic. Attack an enemy with a chance to place Blunt 2 on the target for 2 turns. Core, Celestial Hammer. Attack all enemies with a chance to place Attack Down 2 on all of them for 2 turns, and places Protect 2 on all allies for 2 turns. If he's awakened, each time an ally is attacked while under Protect 2, increase the damage of this hero's next ability by 3%. Resets on the next ability. Ultimate, 1100 cost. Place Resistance up 2 and Defense up 2 on all allies for 3 turns, then place a shield on all allies. Strong, strong, strong. Passive. Each time an ally uses an ultimate, decrease the damage received by all allies by up to 30%. Awakening 5 on ultimate. When an ally shield is removed or depleted, places ward on them, but only for 1 turn. Whenever he's hit, he gains bonus divinity, and he has 30% defense in dungeon battles. I think he's made to be brought into dungeons to keep your team alive. He is a strong, strong defender. I don't think he's as strong as Heimdall. I feel like Athena is on par with him in terms of strength, but people keep crying about just how strong Svarog is. I see him as pretty strong. I am not sure I would place him in top 3 in terms of support champions, but just with that ultimate where you're increasing your resistance as well as your defense and the shield, that's huge. Your team's gonna stay alive with this guy because of the reduction through the passive as well, right? Because you're constantly cycling through ultimates, so you're just gonna keep reducing the damage that you do, that the enemy does against your team. He's gonna just stand there and help your team stay alive through just about anything that can be thrown at them.
And the longer the fight goes on, the better it gets.
That's what I was gonna say. I definitely think the longer it gets, the better he is. Maybe stripping away like all the awakening bonuses, just like kind of thinking raw. Maybe looking at the core. I've heard people say he's like completely broken. I don't see that he's completely broken. I think I'm right on the same page with you, Gecko, about he's not broken. I can't see him as broken. He is a solid defender. Solid defender.
I don't think we should under or downplay the attack down 2 debuff either, because that makes a huge difference.
True.
So
that's true.
Yeah, so you're not only getting protection, and then once you do the ultimate, you're getting, fewer debuffs landing, defense up, shield, protected. They've got attack down on them. They're not going to kill you. Your enemies are going to absolutely struggle against you to do damage to your team. In the meantime, your team's getting pushed forward and stripping buffs off the enemy team and killing them. Yeah, he's gonna super help, but like you said, it ramps up over the course of the fight through his passive, which just makes your team stronger and stronger. Imagine Awakening 3 though. It would be crazy. Stronger and stronger shields as well. People would just get so frustrated coming up against this guy in the arena where he's just staying alive for round after round and the team's just shrugging everything off. Shall we round it off? Let's close out the video. So how about we just go in order of... Well, I'll do closing words to end the video, but how about we just go Dan, final thoughts on the legendaries, Bren, final thoughts, and then I'll give my final thoughts and just wrap up the entire thing.
Yeah, so, man, legendaries overall, pretty crazy. I'd range here, Belobog and Chernobog. Magic duo right there from Barrage. Even like looking back, Cis still going to be coming in strong. I could probably spend another half an hour just talking about each hero, so I won't do that. Just overall, though, really glad that we got to go through all the heroes. This has been great. And yeah, thank you guys for having me and bringing it on. It's been awesome.
Awesome.
Well, for me, I mean, I appreciate you guys having me come in for both epics and legendaries. For the legendaries, it was exciting to go through the changes in the kits, the new kits, all the different champions that we haven't seen yet. And same like you said, man, to see the new pairings that are just going to be juicy. To see the underwhelming things and, things that maybe we like to see change. I think that Amacon is looking like it'll be a lot of fun. Tien will be fun too. I mean, Avalon, those are all phenomenal. It just getting me more excited to play the game. Can't wait. I know that they've had some issues with things that they're trying to fortify to make sure it's ready to go properly when it comes out. And honestly, I'm all right waiting, but all these different kits that they're putting out, and changes that they're making, it just makes it that much more desirable. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the future of, you know, making videos and enjoying what these champions come out to be and playing the game, you know, being involved with the community. So.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. I really think that Avalon and Amaokan really stand out in terms of how strong the legendary heroes are in those realms. I was a little disappointed in the Izumo legendaries. Not just how few legendaries are in that realm, but Izumo's my favorite faction because obviously my ties with Japan and Japanese folklore, and that is part of my life. So a little bit disappointed in that, but there's a lot to look forward to. There is a lot that I'm so happy with, as you guys are. So cool to just go through these legendaries kits, what they're capable of, the surprises, both negatives and positives in terms of surprises. Surprisingly, this one looks really strong on paper, or oh, this one doesn't look quite as good or doesn't synergize quite as well. Just being able to break them down and look at them in this regard has really just renewed that hype for the game. And as you said, Bren, they are working on stuff. When it's done, it's done. When early access kicks off, it kicks off. We're all reasonable people. We're all patient people. We will continue to just get things from the team as part of this community. It's a community-driven project. Our input matters, our feedback matters, and we'll just let them do their job and continue week on week to put out their podcast and put out their updates and leak their stuff. It's really exciting. It's really cool to look forward to. So thank you both for doing this collaboration with me. It was a long journey going through all of the epics and now this Legendaries video, which is extremely long, by the way. I don't know how long it's going to be at the end, but we have over 4.5 hours of content here to try and reduce to a great video. So I won't make it any longer than it needs to be. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one.